So what I would like to put in the garden, I would like to put in something to attract the wild birds back. So I'm thinking perhaps a tree, maybe a bulrush tree or something of that nature, that will entice all the nice wild birds back into the garden.
Okay, for me to put something to the garden, I think a beehive would be ideal, because the bees will be able to pollinate all the plants, and also it will look very nice.
Okay.
And I'm gonna send you a song from my heart full of love. When you look in the mirror, tell me, what do you see? Do you see me in your eyes? Although I can't be there every day, you can hear me if you try. 'Cause I'm gonna sing like a bird in the sky. The sky's so high, and I'm gonna send you up.
Olive trees. I would probably plant a variety of olive trees so that I've got different types of olives to share with people, to put in brine and give away as gifts to people, and to eat, and in a variety of uses, and I'm sure everybody would love to share my olives.
No.
My olives will need to be planted on a slope with good drainage. It'll need to be north facing. It will need to get a lot of sun during the day. So it's also got to be away from other tall trees in the area, and it's got to be well irrigated. Now that irrigation can be put in, but the land needs to be prepared and fertilised.
Okay.
The olives hang hidden amongst the leaves, so the birds can't get them, which is why I'm well away from those grevilleas.
Okay, I didn't realise that. And the ones that shed their wool.
It's all very nice to think that you're going to pick all your olives, but hopefully you're going to get a band of friends who come in and help you, because it's very labour-intensive work. It's really picking.
It is. Even the old put it down on the ground and beat the tree is still labour-intensive,
yes.
isn't it?
Yes, I think it's a couple of bottles of red wine and a good lunch, and please, while you're here, can you pick some olives?
Yes.
And you can take home what you
want.
Yeah, you can take home a bucket full.
Mm.
I'm gonna sing like a bird in the sky. The sky's so high, and I'm gonna send you a song from my heart full of love. A song from my heart full of.
What would you put in?
What I would have is I would have an area where you could put in a long table with chairs so you could have a big family meal. I'd have a big barbecue area next to it, and over the top I'd have sort of plants coming over like you see in Italy with the, what are they called? You know, when you have, it's not big pergolas, but the big area, so it's shaded with an archway, so you could have some nice plants coming off it, and you could eat in the shade. It'd be very Mediterranean, very rustic.
Yeah, okay. Can we have a herb garden?
You can have a herb garden.
Thank you. I'd like a herb garden, please. So we could pick all the fresh herbs off.
A dozen
put it in
herbs,
the
6
salad.
herbs, so this would be a huge herb garden.
Not huge, but I'd like it sort of set out, not like a maze, but quite uniform.
You have to be near the kitchen, so you can just nip out with it. And
Yeah, and not far from the table. So you can
okay,
just...
that sounds nice. A bit of fresh basil on your mozzarella and tomato.
Okay.
Right, let's go kitchen.
Okay.
Olives are nice because kids can then go running around the olive groves.
Nice and shaded also, so you could
What's up on there?
and have the tree quite close to the olives, so that you get the shade of the tree as well as your arbor. And maybe the
No, I'd have
arbor...
a buddleia tree. I'd have the kitchen door just there.
the
And have
buddleia needs to be for the bees.
no, buddleia are butterflies.
Oh, yeah.
So normally you have that around the back door and have all butterflies here.
So you want the table here?
The table, yeah. Where's the house? Where's Downton
Yeah.
Abbey?
In our garden, sharing is caring, I would like a lemon tree because I like the taste of lemons and citrus, so I'd use that in cooking, as well as potatoes and a food, underground section where you do your carrots and potatoes, sweet potatoes. Yams.
Okay.
No one likes yams. Optional yams. And then a section with tomatoes because they're quite easy to grow, as well as mango tree.
In our garden, I would like to have a what did I say before? Banana tree, yes, and it would go next to Kate's mango tree because it would produce a lot of fruit all throughout the year, depending on the climate, I think, and bananas are quite yummy. Also, I would like to have a jasmine tree because it would smell very, very nice, and that would probably be near the house. Yes. Yes.
And these would all work pretty well because the bees can pollinate everything and get all the seeds to sow.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
Work?
Well, it has to. You have to get some sort of humid tropical thing for both the jasmine and the mango and the banana. Both need a tropical sort of area, so you might have to make somewhere a little bit tropical. Olives don't like
Singapore tropical.
Yeah,
olives don't like
no.
tropic.
Olives like sort of temperate. Yeah, Mediterranean. Maybe we can do tropical up that way north because that would. Let's say this garden is as big as Australia. The further north you get, I would assume the more tropical it gets.
Very true.
Oh, okay. So
Yes.
we'd have banana, mango.
Yeah, up there.
And then what do potatoes like, Ma? They're kind of easygoing, aren't they? They're kind of like cold.
Maybe here.
Near the olives?
Okay, could be. Why would you put them? Well, I mean, you might want to put your food together,
Okay.
or your
Where's the
food
herb
not
garden?
your food not too far. Herb garden's under the phone. Food not too far away from the kitchen
Is that a
too.
herb garden?
Well,
Should be to scale because they're quite short.
is this a jasmine tree?
Yeah.
Right.
Jasmine trees are quite short and like wide.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
how is this a sustainable garden?
Well,
It's got things
Oh my gosh, I remember those.
But it's not, alright, so it's not that.
I think those are the same
Or a
ones
garden
as my grade 4.
using sustainable leadership ideas. It's a collaborative leadership idea I'm going for.
Ah, okay.
Okay. So, I'm trying to show how...
detailing.
I'd probably say I'm trying to show how, given everybody a chance to do their own thing, they'll come up with something that's worthwhile anyway. Do you get what
We'll
I mean?
have people fed year round.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's things put in here I didn't anticipate were going to go in already.
Like
I didn't
bees.
anticipate the bees. And I really didn't anticipate the harbour, the arbour.
This morning, smile with the rising sun. 3 little birds, it's by my doorstep, singing sweet songs of melodies pure and true, saying, this is my message to you. Singing, don't worry about a thing.
Want to put in the garden, in our garden.
Okay, in our garden, I want to put a little pond so we can have little fishes there, and it's very aesthetically pleasing because there are going to be people sitting here, and it'll be a nice addition to the community environment.
Like to have bamboo in my garden because I love the serenity of bamboo. It reminds me of living in the tropics, and it's also a very useful plant in terms that it can be cut down eventually to be made into furniture, and it can also be cut and you can cook inside it. Yeah. And also, I'm sure there's some wonderful animals that love living in bamboo or something, birds. So it could be useful too as well. And it provides shade, of course.
when your world trembles and quakes, and your footing suddenly shifts and shakes. Take my hand, we'll hide in the corner, hide in the corner. Take my hand, we'll hide till it's over, till it's all over. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la.
Okay, fair enough. So, my first thought when you talked about this little project was a herb garden with a water feature, which somebody's already done. The reason I was going for that is I've gone through a lot of gardens, cottage gardens, all these flowers, but herbs I think are useful in the kitchen, and they also provide the flowers, bring bees, all manner of the environment into yourself. So I think that's useful as well. So, with my primary idea taken, I've decided one needs a path to walk around and enjoy all the beautiful things within your garden. So I'm going to put in a path. Okay. Angus.
Well, I think that every garden needs a shed. It's just practical, and you know, just feels like it should be a shed where you keep all your tools and your lawnmowers and stuff, and you know, it's just a place to, you know, do what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And every shed should be at the back of the garden, so I'm going to put mine over there, at the back.
So I'm thinking, yes, if you put your shed here,
Mm-hmm.
Can we put compost in too, please?
It's
Might make that Lachlan's idea.
Yeah.
But then we can then imagine that this is actually on a slightly sloping land, and this could just about be lawn going down towards a creek.
And you can have your paths going down.
Yeah, but your paths wind all the way around. Probably won't go down through the middle. Leaning around to enjoy that, but definitely coming around here to your compost and your plants and down to your bees. But yes, this is now looking down to a beautiful green patch.
Rose got so dark, I need some guidance to see, 'cause this pain in my heart is taking
So Kerry, why are you stopping instead of going all the way to the bees? Tell me.
I'm going to stop because if there's still others to contribute, I'd like to make sure I'm not restricting them with the visual thing of a path going there, so they think, oh no, you can't go into there.
Right.
So if I just stop there, then people can they might decide to do something that comes out there and the path actually has to go there.
Mm-hmm.
Or we have to have, a bridge.
Yeah. Okay.
So we'll just stop there and let somebody else do a creative bit, depending on what they decide they want to put in. Properly, this is part of the presentation.
I'm going to put a chicken coop in because you can use chickens for the eggs, for food if you need to, and they can also give you fertilizer for the other stuff in the garden.
Because the chicks, you either open the gate and they'll walk out, or you just open the gate and walk in there and you just close it again. They won't shoot out through your feet or anything.
Like, wouldn't there be solid fence, or would there be an opening just here randomly?
Well, it depends. I mean, if you're actually out at 5 acres, you might have rabbit problems, so you might need to fence your veggie patch. But we didn't put the veggie patch in, so we can't really dictate what happens with the veggie patch. But you can just put in your chicken coop and have the gate. So you can have the gate on the diagonal there if you wanted to, I suppose.
Or you could put rather like paving.
But I suppose you could put, because it's your chicken coop and you want to look after your chickens, I suppose you could put a gate around the veggie patch, like a fence around the veggie patch, because you're keeping your chickens in, aren't you?
You keep chickens in with their own fence?
Depends. You can let the chickens roam. Ours used to roam.
Yeah.
And then we'd have the dog just round them up.
Oh, okay.
So we need dog's house as well.
Okay.
No, but she did that. That's because it was inbred. It was inbred to her. But she'd round them up. They'd just be scratching, and then she'd sit there and she'd let one wander away, and then she'd go and bring it back into the group.
What sort of dog was this?
Oh, border collie. Dad would let him out with the sheep. She was lovely, actually.
So my garden's going to be a apple orchard, a small apple grove, but particularly looking at the old species that are being lost from apples. Part of the reason why I chose that is because in some of the older, ambling, larger spaces of gardens, they often had old varieties of apples. Nothing's more beautiful than plucking a freshly picked apple from your orchard. Yeah. And also because I grew up on an apple orchard, and so I'm very aware of those old species of the apples growing. The Snow Whites and the Pippins that I grew up with have changed radically, and even in the last 20 years they're changing the style of apples that are grown on our apple orchard, in being dominated by commercial values. So it needs to be placed over near the beehives, because every year I remember the bee man coming, the apiarist coming to deliver his bees, and it was a great excitement. He'd have to come at night time and he'd put out the beehives, and we would get fresh honey from this gentleman. His name was John. We always marvelled how would he get stung or not, and he was a bachelor, so I don't know if that's got anything to do with him being an apiarist or what, but it just resonates with tastes and night times and a change of season, and all of the blossoms coming out in the orchard.
What about you, Elle?
I would have a rose garden or a flower garden, so near the house, so that when you look out the windows you can see all the flowers.
Okay. So do you like flowers?
Yeah.
Daydreamer sitting on the sea, soaking up the sun. He is a real lover of making up the past and feeling up his girl like he's never felt a figure before. jaw dropper. Looks good when he walks, is the subject of their talk. He would be hard to chase, but good to catch, and he could change the world with his hands behind his back. Oh, you can find him sitting on your doorstep, waiting for a surprise. And he will feel like he's been there for hours, and you can tell that he'll be there for life. Daydreamer with eyes that make you melt. He lends his coat for shelter, plus he's there for you when he shouldn't be. But he stays all the same, waits for you, then sees you through. There's no way I could describe him. What I'll say is just what I'm hoping for. But I will find him sitting on my doorstep, waiting for a surprise. And he will feel like he's been there for hours, and I can tell that he'll be there for life. And I can tell that he'll be there for life.
I'm gonna put a grassy area for the kids to play and run around in.
Okay. Okay, so whereabouts are you going to put it?
I'm putting it near the pond, so it's like it goes over like between the different patches. I'm going to do a prickly pear cactus because they you don't have to maintain them, and they survive the drought and also extreme colds. And when there's a drought, you can feed the prickly pears to livestock, and they can survive on them for 8 months. And so I'm going to put it in an area of the garden where it won't bother anyone and the kids won't run into it. Because my friend who has a farm down south in Australia, we went around their property in a ute, and we went back to the first house that was ever on the property, and it was all broken down. It was just sort of like the shell of the house, and then the garden, which used to be kind of like an old English garden, was now like surrounded like a fence by this cactus. It was like, one side was really big and beautiful. I thought the green was really nice because the paddock was really dry and green and burnt, so yeah, it looked like a little oasis.
Yeah.
What
I'm going to put a tranquility garden in. Just a quiet spot where you can go when you want to sit and just meditate or just quietly be. I'd like to put a water feature in there as part of that because the sound of water is so very soothing.
Good. I think it's quite good.
Even though my great aunt was a famous painter and writer, I cannot paint or write.
It doesn't make any difference.
I mean, you can't paint.
Go.
Medicinal herbs garden because first of all it's useful and it's beautiful plants and it's of interest, I think.
Yes.
Mudslide Slim and the blue horizon. Whoa, mudslide, I'm depending on you. I don't.
So in the garden, I would like to put a worm compost farm so that the vegetables can have their own compost and they can have good quality soil. And for that reason, I would also like to put in some legumes or nitrogen fixing plants into the vegetable patch and near the tomatoes so that the soil there is all good quality.
I spilled the egg across
I'm the final person that gets to put something into the garden, and everybody has left me the centre spot, which is great because there's something missing from this garden as far as I'm concerned, which I need a big area to put in, and that is I want to put in some Australian eucalypts. I want to put in some marries and some carries, and so the red gums and the black butts and that sort of thing right in the centre of the garden, and in a way that'll break the garden and divide it up a little bit, but at the same time it'll give us a place to put a swing for kids to play with. It'll give a bit of shade to the grassy area. It'll make the Garden of Tranquility more peaceful and more more an interesting thing to find down the back of the garden. So I think it's turned out really well in the end, and it'll give shade to the shed and the tulip pen over here as well. So that's what I want to put in. I want to put in some big Australian trees and a swing for the kids.
Maybe surrounded by a million people, I still feel all alone. Wanna go home. If I miss you, you know. And I've been keeping all the letters that I wrote to you, each one a line or two. I'm fine, baby, how are you? I would send them, but I know that it's just not enough. 'Cause my words are cold and flat, and you deserve more than that, yeah. Another airplane, another sunny place. I'm lucky, I know, but I wanna go home. I got to go.